Welcome to the reading of the Times Reporter newspaper for Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. My name is Pam, and we begin our news coverage with area deaths. James R. Hendershot, 75 of Strasburg, died Friday, April 23rd in Cleveland Clinic Union Hospital at Dover. In keeping with James' wishes, there will be no public visitation or services. And that concludes the area death notices listed in the online edition of the Times Reporter. We will now begin our broadcast with our first article today. Pandemic puts more children in foster care. The number of children in foster care in Tuscarawas County has risen by more than 50% in the year since the pandemic began, according to David W. Haverfield, Director of Tuscarawas County Job and Family Services. The department now reports it has 100 children in foster care, compared to 64 in April 2020. Haverfield said referrals to Children's Services began to rise in April 2020. By the end of 2020, there were 87 children in foster care. When the pandemic hit, things started changing. Haverfield said in a prepared statement, parents were put into a situation where they had to balance an increased number of struggles, and mostly on their own, due to the isolation caused by COVID. Haverfield made the following points in a news release. In addition to the children in foster care, another 28 children are under protective supervision, either living in their own homes or with a relative. Those children and their families get services meant to help keep the children out of foster care. Over 50% of the cases investigated are due to neglect, and about 25 of the cases are due to physical abuse. Sex abuse, emotional abuse, dependency, and unruly charges make up the rest of the cases. About 2/3 of the children removed from the home are less than 13 years old. The younger the children are, the more vulnerable they are in dangerous situations. The community needs to recognize the signs of despair in adults, which can lead to neglectful and harmful situations for children. School will be ending soon. Children will be back in their homes full time. For adults struggling with personal issues, the additional pressure of caring for children full time may weigh heavily upon their ability to parent productively. We encourage parents to reach out to one of our many agencies, churches, community resources to talk about their situation, Haverfield wrote. This pandemic has been difficult on all of us, and more so for some, but we will continue to get through it together. Links to many available resources in the community are on the TCJFS webpage. A directory of services is listed under the Access Tuscarora area on the webpage. Click on the link to the community directory document to view all of the local resources in that booklet. Anyone concerned about a child who feels a referral is needed may contact the agency by calling 330-556-6720 or sending an email to tusccps@jfs.ohio.gov. The public is advised to contact law enforcement for emergencies. An ODOT worker nearly struck by a pickup truck by John Baker. Officials are reminding motorists to exercise caution in highway work zones after an Ohio Department of Transportation worker was nearly struck by a pickup truck on 7 Mile Drive north of New Philadelphia. Crews were doing routine maintenance on 7 Mile Drive near the Point Dining on Monday morning when ODOT highway technician Colin Fountain, 20, of New Philadelphia, was operating a flagging unit. Noticed a pickup truck coming towards the work zone at a high rate of speed. Lauren Burrell, Public Information Officer for ODOT District 11, said Fountain was inside a pickup truck with a flag on it to alert motorists. The truck provides added safety for workers. When Fountain realized the truck wasn't slowing down, he got out of his vehicle and began waving his arms to attract the driver's attention. The truck didn't slow down, so Fountain had to jump back into the pickup to avoid getting hit. The pickup struck the driver's side door of the ODOT vehicle and then continued on into the work zone. Burrell said ODOT workers were later able to get the pickup stopped. Burrell said Fountain was very concerned about the safety of his co-workers. That was his effort yesterday. It could have ended up very badly, but we're thankful it did not. Working for ODOT was Fountain's dream job, she noted. This hasn't deterred him, she said. He still loves his job. He will continue doing what he's doing. Burrell urged motorists to slow down and pay attention in highway work zones. We're in maintenance mode, she said. We know the orange barrels and orange cones aren't always a welcome sight because they delay your travel, but the ODOT workers are making the roads safer. Highway employees have loved ones waiting at home for them, too. We want them to go home at the end of the day, Burrell said. David Levi Yoder, 27, pleads not guilty to rape by Nancy Molnar. A 27-year-old Colorado man has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of child rape and other charges in connection with alleged sex crimes against 2 children. David Levi Yoder of West Cliff, Colorado, is also charged with having unlawful sexual conduct with a minor and 4 counts of gross sexual imposition. The rape charges specify that the victim was less than 13 years of age when the crime occurred between June 12, 2007 and June 11, 2016. Unlawful sexual conduct allegedly occurred when the victim was 13 years old, but under 16 years of age. 2 gross sexual imposition charges allege that Yoder had sexual contact with 2 child victims who were less than 13 years old. 2 additional charges of gross sexual imposition allege that the defendant forced 2 child victims to submit to sexual contact by force or threat of force. Yoder has been held in the Tuscarawas County Jail since April 13th. He is represented by a public defender. The sheriff's office conducted the investigation. The case is assigned to Common Pleas Judge Michael Ernest. Well, let's move on to the Garaway Board of Education meeting by Barb Limbacher. At the April 19th meeting, key action approved the purchase of a Chevrolet Microbird van for the district. The discussion: the 9-passenger van will be purchased from Cardinal Bus Sales and Service of Lima for $47,700. Also, sports cubes will be additional for $300. The van will be used to transport small groups of students. In other action, granted a 1-year supplemental coaching contracts to Jessica Swartz, head volleyball, Greg Miller, head wrestling. Accepted the resignation of Victoria Raber, middle school cheer coach, effective immediately. Accepted a $300 anonymous donation to the Environmental Club for the Appalachian Trail hike. Donations of 4 American flags from the American Legion Post 494, valued at $265. Adopted 10 board policy revisions. Approved a 3-year contract with Julian and Grube for GAAP financial statement preparation services. Approved Sedgwick as a third-party administrator for workers' compensation and unemployment claims for January 1, 2022 to December 31, 2022. Approved Cleveland Clinic Union Hospital Clinic Workwell to perform physicals for district bus and van drivers. Gave approval for Occupational Medicine Center of Tuscarawas County to perform quarterly random drug testing for bus and van drivers. Approved a resolution pertaining to graduation requirements for the class of 2021. Entered into an agreement with T4C for Healthy Choices for the youth program and a site agreement with Ohio Adolescents Health Center Projects Partners of T4C. For your information, recognized March Student of the Month Ryan Mullet, High School, Morgan Schlebach, Middle School, and Paige Bebow, Fine Arts. Congratulations, students. Up next, the next meeting will be at 6 p.m. May 17th in the high school library. Moving on, house fire in New Philadelphia, factory fire in Dover. Fire crews were busy on Monday with fires at a home in New Philadelphia and an Inca Presswood Pallets in Dover. The first fire was reported at 2:59 p.m. at 325 Front Avenue Southeast in New Philadelphia. Firefighters arrived at 3:03 p.m. New Philadelphia Fire Chief Jim Parrish said the fire started accidentally on a stove upon which combustible materials were stacked. He said it took 20 minutes to get the fire under control. The stove, the kitchen, and the back of the house were damaged by fire. Smoke damage occurred throughout the house. A man and a woman who were inside left the house before firefighters arrived. 2 cats and 2 birds died, Parrish said. He said the property owner and the tenants were insured. The tenants were not able to stay in the house. Firefighters from Dover and Uhrichsville also responded. The last fire crew left the scene around 4:30 p.m. Dover firefighters were called to Inca Presswood Pallets, 3005 Progress Street, at 6:39 p.m. because black smoke was flowing from ducts that carry sawdust, according to Fire Captain Brooks Ross. The first crew arrived at 6:40 p.m. from the station on the city's north end. Firefighters extinguished fire on the ground around a heat exchanger building, Ross said. Plant employees told firefighters that an explosion in the heat exchanger building started the fire, Ross said. When additional fire crews arrived, they opened ductwork and extinguished visible fire, according to Ross. He said the explosion had disabled a steam line that runs through the ducts and is designed to extinguish fires. After an hour and a half, company employees were able to get the system in operation again. Ross said plant employees suspected that a gas leak led to the explosion in the heat exchanger building because that part of the factory was shut down. They estimated damages at $150,000 to $200,000. Firefighters had the initial fire under control within 2 hours of being called, Ross said. The last crews left the scene at 10:20 p.m. Dover firefighters responded from both of their stations. They were assisted by others from Bolivar, New Philadelphia, Strasburg, and Sugar Creek. And let's move on. Live music at Alley Cats Marketplace. Live music will be featured at Alley Cats Marketplace when Art on the Alley returns to downtown from noon to 6 p.m. on May the 2nd. The tunes will start at noon with the band Null and Void at 2:30 p.m. Nick Bonner from Massillon will provide vocals, acoustic guitar, harmonica, and a stomp box foot pedal to create a one-man band performance. His catalog is largely made up of classic rock, blues, country, and folk music. We are extremely happy to have Nick with us this year, along with all the musical artists that perform at Alley Cats Marketplace, says Debbie Abiel Kinsley, owner. During Art on the Alley, in addition to 70 artisans we have inside Alley Cats, there will be an additional 60 more artisans up and down First Drive, along with musicians and food trucks, she said. Also, add to the excitement, our sister store, Fresh the Market, will also be open for folks to come check out downtown New Philadelphia's first indoor farm market. All through the day, Trang Moreland, local author of Just Smile and Say Hello, will be on hand for a book signing. Alley Cat art crafts and treats will be offered. Alley Cats Marketplace is a 5,000 square foot creative market that opened in May 2019 at 115 Allen Lane Southwest in downtown New Philadelphia. Hours of operation are 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesdays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wednesdays through Fridays, and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. Events and updates can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and on the website at www.alleycatsmarketplace.com. Now, let's hear from the Midvale City Council March meeting. The key action: a motion was passed to allocate funds from the CARES Act and to join with the Midvale United Methodist Church for another community food drive. The discussion: the matter was discussed following the suggestion from Randy Cadle, who was representing the church. The village and church had joined together to complete 2 such food drives for Thanksgiving and Christmas and assisted more than 1,100 individuals. Cattle said he felt the need was still very apparent. In other actions, Councilwoman Deb Zoppi was appointed as a representative with the Safety Committee chair, with Councilwoman Molly Brandon and Mayor Larry Kopp serving as alternatives. They would need to attend coalition meetings. This occurred following the presentation of call logs to council by Denison Mayor Greg DiDonato. DiDonato also informed them that donations of $238,000 has been raised towards a new building that would house Denison fire vehicles. Denison Fire Chief McConnell spoke about going forward with Midvale and offered to answer any questions. The Park Committee approved a list of items and repairs that need to be completed around the park that will be given to the park superintendent. Approved the need to order 1 portable restroom for the ball field. And for your information, Rush Fire Department Representative Justin Beach asked about obtaining a usable fire equipment that was not previously promised to other villages from the Midvale Fire Department. Kopp said he would contact the Rush Fire Department after everything is inventoried. Fiscal Officer Georgianne Turner noted that the first disbursement of the cell tower contract has been received and it was $850. The payments are to be received monthly, and Turner said she would look into the exact timeline of the payments. Turner informed residents that early voting for the May 4th primary begins on April 6th. The village will have a 0.5% tax increase on the ballot. A letter was to go out to all residents, and Turner said she would also post it on the village Facebook page. She stressed that the tax would not be an increase to those who work outside the village, and those who are retired would not be affected. And moving on, volunteers are sprucing up county's recreational areas. In Bolivar, a local business owner is spearheading an effort to clean up Bolivar's trail system for Earth Day. Joe Reinhardt is the proprietor of the Towpath Trail Peace Park and Snack Shack in Bolivar. He and a team of volunteers will be picking up litter starting at 10 a.m. at the McDonald Trailhead. Reinhardt says it's basically just a hike where you pick up trash on your own or with members of your household. He will be providing bottled water and trash cans, but volunteers can also bring rakes and weed eaters if they'd like to. Elsewhere in the county, Rural Action is planting 450 trees along the Tuscarawas River in Janadenhutton. You can also stop by Newtown Mall starting at 5 p.m. for a grab-and-go earth goodie bag containing seeds, soil, and a pot. Those will be available while supplies last up until 6:30. Buckeye students make boxes for veteran flags by Nancy Molnar. Construction students at Buckeye Career Center are building boxes to hold the flags that cover veterans' caskets at their burials. The project serves 2 purposes. It gives the juniors the opportunity to serve the community, and it gives veterans survivors a way to display the flags. Many times these flags get shoved in a closet. The flag boxes could cost over $100 and are hard to find, says Deborah Cook, director of the Tuscarawas County Veterans Service Office. All veterans who are honorably discharged are eligible for a flag when they die, Cook said. The triangular boxes are made from red oak with a clear acrylic front. The County Veterans Service Office is paying Buckeye for the cost of the materials to make the boxes. The family member of the deceased veteran will receive a flag box for free, Cook said. The Veterans Office has been asked Buckeye for 180 boxes, estimated to be enough for more than a year's burials, according to Patrick Walker, who represents the Vietnam Veterans of America on the county's Veterans Service Commission. There's not enough time left in this school year to fulfill the entire order, according to construction technology teacher Tim Northrop. The work will continue in the fall. The 21 juniors in the construction classes are making the boxes in assembly line style, 20 at a time, Northrop said. He estimated each box requires 2 hours of labor. All the construction technology program's seniors are building a house. The school is considered extending the offer to build flag boxes to other 2 counties served by Buckeye, Carolyn Holmes, and Cheyenne Carroll Public Relations Coordinator. Walker, a Navy veteran who served with the Marines as a hospital corpsman, said the flag boxes will be offered first to the next of kin of veterans as their funerals occur. Later, boxes will be available to the survivors of veterans who died in the past, before the flag program began. Northrop would be happy to receive donations of clear acrylic, which has doubled in price as the material was widely used in barriers to limit the spread of coronavirus. Students Connor Eberly and Braden Crone said they were happy to participate in the project. "I feel pretty humble about it," said Crone, who came to Buckeye from Dover High School. "I'm proud to be able to help veterans," said Eberly, who came to Buckeye from Indian Valley High School. "I'm hoping that one day I get to follow in their shoes and go through the military." Eberly plans to enlist in the Marines. "I'm proud to know that this is going to continue," he said, "and that people are going to continue to work on that project." Cook, an Army veteran, said the Veterans Service Office wants to continue the flag box program as long as Buckeye can supply them at cost. The Tuscarawas Veterans Service Office is very pleased that Buckeye was willing to work with us on this project, she said. Let's hear from the Bowerston Village Council meeting on April 20th. Key action: set a community shred event and cleanup day. The discussion: Village Administrator Alan Case discussed with Council his plans for a community cleanup day. Case said that this year the event will include an opportunity for village residents to have documents shredded on site. The date was set for Saturday, September 25th. Disposal restrictions and further details will be released at a later date. In other discussion, Council President Paula Bamer reported that the Personnel Committee had reviewed 7 resumes that had been received for the village's full-time position and recommends that the job opportunity is advertised locally. Council agreed and authorized Bamer to hire between meetings if an acceptable candidate was found. In other action, approved first mosquito spraying prior to Memorial Day. Appointed Marie Harris and Juliet Humphrey to vacant council seats. Held a video conference with representatives from the engineering firm E.L. Robinson. Reviewed current utility delinquencies and instructed solicitor Jenna Hoax to make changes to the current bylaws. Changed the rate for park building rentals from $150 flat rate to $125 that includes a $25 cleaning deposit refunded if the building is cleaned after use. Learned that there have been multiple complaints about unlicensed vehicles, such as four-wheelers, mini bikes, and golf carts on village streets and alleys. Was advised that the Harrison County Sheriff's Office should be contacted to address these issues. Discussed dilapidated structures in the village and future plans to pursue resolution. Heard quarterly updates from Income Tax Administrator Janine Scott and noted that the tax filing deadline for 2020 has been extended to May 17th. Learned that Bowerston's income tax form may be downloaded at www.villageofbowerston.org. Mandated a spending freeze for anything without council's prior approval. Set community yard sale dates for Saturday, June the 12th. Up next, the regular council meeting will be on Tuesday, May 18th at 6 p.m. at the Community Park Building. A candlelight vigil on May 16th will be held for crash victims. In Magnolia, a candlelight vigil will be held May 16th at Crossroads Plaza in memory of 2 motorcyclists killed nearby last year. The observance is planned to honor Richard A. King II, 47 of Massillon, and Tiffany J. Walton, 46 of Magnolia. They died after the motorcycle he was driving on Route 800 hit a sports utility vehicle that made a left turn into the plaza. Friends and family will gather in the shopping center at State Routes 800 and 183 around 9 p.m. They will have the ceremony at 9:36 p.m., the time the accident occurred, according to Walton's mother, Deb Canfield of the Bolivar area. A 21-year-old man from Port Washington area, Ezra J. Barrick, is serving 30 days in Tuscarawas County Jail for vehicular manslaughter convictions in connection with their deaths. And that concludes the reading of the Times Reporter newspaper for Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. My name is Pam, and please stay safe until we meet back here again. Thank you for having me in your home today. Be abundantly blessed.